How's it going, guys? Your bearded boy wonder here, Kurt Stevens with OutlawBitsGaming, and today I wanted to show you the top 10 rarest games for one of my favorite systems of all time. That's right, guys, to the Nintendo 64. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alrighty guys, today we're going to be working on my Star Fox. I bought it from the exchange and this pin. The Nintendo 64 was released on June 23, 1996, and with it, a new era of video games was set to unfold. With amazing graphics, unforgettable gameplay, and a full arsenal of heavy hitters like Mario and Donkey Kong to lead the pack, Nintendo was about to sweep the gaming industry by storm, making the N64 a must-have for every 90s kid's TV stand. As we get further into 2019, and closer to that 25th anniversary mark for the system, demand and popularity of the nostalgic video game console continues to skyrocket, causing prices of the once reasonably valued cartridges to steadily increase, projecting some of the more obscure titles into extreme rarity. Today, we're going to be tackling the top rarest games sought after by collectors and some of the hardest to obtain for the Nintendo 64 console. No point in wasting time, guys, let's get right into it. The first game on our list, coming in at the number 10 spot, is Bomberman 64, The Second Attack. Coming to the N64 on May 28, 2000, Bomberman 64 The Second Attack failed to impress audiences with its lackluster soundtrack and seemingly identical graphics to the first installment of the series, Bomberman 64. Pairing that with similar gameplay mechanics and paringly low sales, the Bomberman 64 The Second Attack had a relatively low shelf life, being replaced by more prominent Nintendo titles on the store shelves. These factors played a role in earning Bomberman 64 The Second Attack our number 10 spot for the rarest N64 games of all time. With increased demand from collectors as of recent years, you can get your copy today on eBay or out in the wild if you're lucky for around $200 US. Happy hunting, folks. Coming in at number 9 on our list is an interesting twist on tactics games and turn-based RPGs alike. Falling in at number 9 is Ogre Battle 64, Person of Lordly Caliber. Ogre Battle 64 is a strategy-based JRPG released on October 7, 2000, and was developed by Quest and published by Atlus Games. And if you know anything about Atlus Games, they've been known since the NES days for printing their games in such small numbers that some could argue that every Atlus game eventually becomes a limited edition, earning them the spots in countless rare games lists across the board. While well received in Japan, Western audiences weren't as thrilled about JRPGs of the time, thus bringing Ogre Battle 64 further into obscurity and earning its spot at the number 9 rarest N64 game on our list. You can pick up your copy today on eBay or at your local game store for around $50 US, making this game one of the easiest to obtain for your collection on our list. Coming in hot at number 8 is Starcraft 64. Starcraft 64 is a real-time strategy game released on June 13, 2000. Developed by Blizzard originally as a widely successful PC game, Nintendo sought to turn the pinnacle of the computer gaming market into a cartridge port for the Nintendo 64 system. While the goal was noble, the game wasn't well received by audiences or critics' acclaim due to its finicky controls that didn't feel quite right in the Nintendo 64's joystick and button layouts. Players wanted to experience the intense real-time strategy game with the common computer mouse that they were used to, and that was something that Nintendo simply couldn't deliver, sending this title off the store shelves and into the 8th spot on our list for the most rare N64 games. You can snag your copy of StarCraft online today for around $50 US. Not bad. Coming in at a solid number 7 on our list is Mario Party 3. Mario Party 3 was released in the US on May 7, 2001, which was undoubtedly towards the end of the N64's time span on the market. This fact led to low production numbers of the game and decreased sales despite adding a plethora of new exciting features, and over 70 new minigames to play. Due to the impending release of Nintendo's up-and-coming GameCube console, making the game extremely sought after by collectors and increasingly harder to find as time goes on, sending it to the number 7 spot on our list. If you can grab up a copy from your local retro video game store or on the internet, you can find one for about $40 or so for the loose cartridge, and I highly recommend it, guys. These minigames are so fun. Coming in at our number 6 spot on our list is Paper Mario. Paper Mario had originally started out as a sequel to the Super Nintendo classic Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. But this wasn't possible due to Square hopping over to develop titles for the Sony PlayStation system. So, Nintendo created Paper Mario in-house. Releasing towards the end of the Nintendo 64's lifespan on February 5th, 2001, the game was printed in smaller quantities considering, not to mention the lack of advertisement leading to lower sales of the title. This game has drifted farther into the realm of rarity as recent years have passed, and is another highly sought after title for collectors everywhere, earning its spot as number 6 on our list of the rarest N64 titles ever. You can pick up your copy today on eBay or in the wild for around $60 or so. Coming in hot at the number 5 spot is Harvest Moon 64. Harvest Moon 64 is a farming simulation game developed by Natsume for the 64 and released in the US November 30th, 1999. It wasn't well received by fans who were unfamiliar with the franchise, making the game quite easy to pass up for more recognizable titles, resulting in low sales of the game at the time. It wasn't until later releases on the GameCube and the Wii that a fan base began to grow and interest in the older N64 title began to gain traction. Now being sought after by collectors, the game is increasingly harder to find, landing Harvest Moon 64's number 5 spot on our list for the rarest N64 titles. You can find a copy locally or online for around $40 loose, making it one of the cheaper finds on our epic list of gems. Sliding into the spotlight at number 4 is one of my favorite games for the system, Conkers Bad Fur Day. The last game developed by Rare for the Nintendo 64 being released in the US on March 5th, 2001, Conkers Bad Fur Day brings the player along for the day in the life of our lovable drunken squirrel protagonist Conker, swinging frying pans at wasps and causing typical squirrel mischief. Conkers Bad Fur Day was released much like a lot of the other games on this list, and it was close to the release of the Nintendo GameCube. This paired with limited advertising, little to no endorsement from Nintendo, and a limited demographic being only for adults, impacted the sales of Conkers Bad Fur Day, sending it further into obscurity and seizing the number 4 spot on our list. Copies of this game could be found at your local retro game store for around $60 for the loose cartridge. Coming in at number 3 on our list is Snowboard Kids 2. Released onto the US market on March 2nd, 1999, Snowboard Kids 2 was published by Atlas Games in their trademark limited number fashion, making this game a candidate for extreme rarity from the start. Match that with lackluster reviews and harsh critic scrutiny, Snowboard Kids 2 wasn't a hit on the gaming market for Nintendo, sending this game further into obscurity. Collectors searching for this game can expect to pay anywhere around $75 to $80 online for a loose copy. Number 2 on our list is Clay Fighter 63 1/3 The Sculptors Cut. Clay Fighter 63 1/3 Sculptors Cut is a classic style fighting game released on May 15, 1998 for the N64. The Sculptors Cut was an upgraded version of Clay Fighter 63 1/3. It features 4 new characters as well as some changes to character combat mechanics and moves. There were thought to have been only around 20,000 cartridges produced in total, and considering the game was a Blockbuster rental only, many of them were believed to have been thrown out when Blockbuster made the change to next-generation consoles, making the game increasingly more difficult to obtain unless you purchased it from Blockbuster prior to them tossing out hundreds, landing it at the number 2 spot on our list. A loose cartridge copy will run you anywhere from $300 to $500 in the wild, depending on condition. And finally, the one you've been waiting for. If you've made it this far in the video, I personally want to thank you for watching and can't wait to deliver you the rarest video game title for the Nintendo 64. Well, let's get right to it, guys. The suspense is killing me. The title, reaching the number 1 spot on our list for the N64's rarest game ever, is Yoshi's Story International Version. Yoshi's Story International Version was given out prior to the American release date on March 1st, 1998 as a playable kiosk demo to gauge reactions of Western audiences before the game's launch. The cartridge features all Japanese text and dialogue while being fully playable on Western consoles. The labels are identical other than the international version being printed directly on the front label, as well as the impossible to miss not for resale tag. Copies of this game can fetch a daunting $900+ on eBay, so if we can all agree on one thing, it's that getting your hands on this is going to put a serious dent in your pocketbook. Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching my top 10 rarest N64 games video. If you like what you saw here today, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button at the bottom of the page, and be sure to ring the bell to stay up to date with all of my videos as soon as they're posted. I can't thank you guys enough again for watching, and this has been Kurt Stevens with OutlawBitsGaming, signing off.